Gary Striar is with us. He's at the American Red Cross of the Northeastern New York region, and we're very pleased to have him on. He just went down to Long Island to take a look at the efforts that they're using for or doing for Hurricane Sandy. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about March being Red Cross Month. So, Gary, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, what's going on in Long Island?
I was down there a couple of weeks ago in Nassau County in New York City, and to see how our response is going. We're still doing a lot of response work, still feeding thousands of people every day.
Really?
And there are a lot of people who are still in a very bad way. What we're moving into now is a very aggressive long-term recovery program, helping people with move-in assistance and things like that. The big struggle down there is available housing. If people have lost their home, even if there are dollars available, there aren't homes available. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done to figure out how do you get these people into
Are they doing the trailers, like the FEMA trailers?
They are not doing trailers. The
Okay.
City of New York decided they did not want to do trailers. So they're just trying to move people into whatever housing is available and give some dollars to people that can quickly repair their homes. Some homes can be, if you spend just a small amount of money, if you get a new furnace or things like that, or do some mold removal, maybe they can move back in. So
and the mold is a big problem.
Yes, it is. It's
I mean, your house can be livable, except you can't live in it because of the mold.
Exactly.
It's toxic.
Exactly. This has been the biggest relief operation since Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
We've served 16 million meals down there.
Amazing.
And there's a lot of work left to do. And as you and I said earlier, the problem is going to continue because the dunes and the natural beach protection is gone in a lot of places. So future storms are going to cause even more problems.
And they're coming more frequently.
Exactly.
To my understanding is that it's just not going to go away. It's
Exactly.
going to continue. You brought some photos, so let's take a look at some of those photos and find out what's going on at the Red Cross and what you're doing.
This is, I think, probably at a Red Cross shelter. We are always doing lots of sheltering for during disasters. I think this was after a disaster. One of our caseworkers is talking to a client to try to determine what assistance they need for us.
Now you do physical assistance, right? I mean, what if they need stress related? It goes to somebody else to handle
Yeah, we can
that.
provide some general mental
Okay.
health support, but it's mostly physical kinds of assistance. And there's a Red Cross shelter. We during small disasters like fires, we put people in a hotel. But for big things like a flood or something like that, there you see a flood. There have been so many of these lately that we've had to open, some very large shelters.
Oh my goodness.
Destruction, there were so many tens of thousands of homes destroyed after Hurricane Sandy, and the devastation is just incredible down there. That's a Red Cross emergency response vehicle, and it probably, someone being served a meal in that, those can provide thousands of meals a day to people. They just come up to the window and they get a meal. And the biggest thing our folks provide a lot of times is emotional support, and that's a good picture of it. Again, our volunteers out providing support. I was amazed when there's a disaster, when people see our volunteers, they immediately feel relief that the Red Cross is here to help. Again, the damage that we've seen far too often lately. That's one of our new vehicles. Believe that's up in Glens Falls, one of our new response vehicles, and very proud and glad we were able to get that. CPR is one of the things we teach a lot, and we have a new hands-only CPR that's much simpler and easier to learn, so people can call the Red Cross and sign up for that.
They're changing the CPR. It's always amazing how we went from mouth to mouth, and now it just keeps changing, and it seems to work very well.
And it's simpler. That's the big thing. People don't have to take an 8-hour course to learn CPR now. They can do it fairly easily.
And I remember just in college, you had to take a Red Cross CPR course. Are you the only ones that give those?
There are other organizations
Are there
that do.
really?
We're
Because
probably
I
the
always
lead-
think the Red Cross.
Well, that's good. We're the leading provider. And there's, it's easy. People should really take first aid. They should really take CPR. And interestingly, we have a lot of things available on our mobile apps now that you can download an app on your iPhone or your iPad and get basic information about first aid and CPR.
That's a really good
There's lots of
idea.
ways you can do some of these things online now, so you don't have to spend 8 hours in a classroom. We're trying to make it easy for people to get trained.
And most people that have to do CPR, they have to renew it, so it's it's time consuming to do it. but it's life-saving when you know how to do that, and you can help somebody on a plane or wherever, you know.
Exactly.
You never know.
And it happens all the time.
What are you doing to celebrate your Red Cross Month? Anything special?
We love
just
Red Cross.
getting out and talking to us, right?
That's right. Well, that's really part of it, is telling
Yeah.
our story. Red Cross Month is when we thank especially our volunteers, our blood donors, our financial supporters that let us do the work we do. So we've had events to honor some of our volunteers. We're going out talking to the media, having some special blood drives, and just having some exhibits in different places, just trying to be everywhere that we can. We've been doing things where we recognize volunteers, specific volunteers every day, and try to tell stories about the good work they're doing. They're really the most amazing part of our organization.
Right.
There's so
And
many dedicated volunteers.
You still need blood, is that it?
We always need blood because the blood has a very short shelf life, so it's donated and it's used, so you need to continually replenish it all the time. And winter's a tough time of year because or there's snowstorms, you lose a lot of blood drives and a lot of donations.
Now, you have a permanent place to donate blood in Schenectady? You used to, or do you still have that?
The Crosstown Plaza is closing at the end of June, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yes. We do have a permanent location at Everett Road in Albany.
Okay.
And then there are mobile blood drives all over the area. You can go on the website, and there are churches and school places and businesses, so they're all over the place.
And who can give blood?
If there's a list of health, if you're healthy and you're 16 years old and you weigh 110 pounds, you can generally give. You have to go through and make sure you haven't taken certain medications or had certain illnesses. But they go through a screening before you do it the first time. And it feels really good to know that you're saving someone's life. I love to
I used
donate.
to give blood, and then I was on a medication where I couldn't give blood. But I mean, I think it was almost a gallon. And it's painless, and it's kind of a social thing to do, isn't it?
And you get free cookies and juice at the end.
And who can pass up free cookies? Just give a pint of blood and get some
And
cookies.
you can save a couple of people's lives just
and
with that one donation.
And you lose a pound when you do that, right? Roughly.
There you go. There's no other way to produce blood. The only blood we have is the blood that people donate every single day.
Yeah. And I think even the ones that they can't use, they end up spinning it out and using platelets and using the other parts of it too. So if you'd like to support the Red Cross, you can always make a donation. But if you want volunteers, how do you get volunteers?
Most people contact our chapter. They hear about us, and they can call our chapter or go on our website, and you can just click on volunteer. So we try to make it easy. Then people come in, and we do a general orientation, and then we point them to there's dozens and dozens of different types of opportunities.
I'm sure there's all sorts of things.
Office work, computer work, going out on disaster responses, but we always need more volunteers.
And I know that I have to say, at Rotterdam Junction, when they had the Katrina, I was out there. My daughter lived in that area, and I was out there to see what I could do. And it was the Red Cross certainly stepped up to the plate there too. I know they could run in ladders and things like that. So it was really very important what you do for our local community as well as nationally. You're the American Red Cross, but still, we're looking for you at a local level.
We do every day. We respond to over 300 fires a year in our counties. That means 24 hours a day. When there's a fire, we're there to take care of the people. And then unfortunately, we've had these bigger things over and over again, like Hurricane Irene.
Put the stress on it.
And it's so we need to be prepared for bigger things, and the public needs to be better prepared. We have lots of preparedness programs also that people can come in and learn how to be prepared for disaster.
Go to their website. You'll learn a lot and how you can help and be prepared, not only for your friends and neighbors, but also for your family if you learn to CPR and all of that. Gary, it's so pleasant to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Come again.
Okay, anytime.
Good. We're going to take another trip out to Green Lake Park, and when we come back, we're going to be talking with Janine Criswick, and we're going to be talking about the Autism Society. Please stay tuned.
A little badminton. My goodness, it's a feeding frenzy.